Now let's see how to create a physical inventory document in the SAP system. Come, let me show you. The transactions used to create an inventory document is M0. To create the inventory document, 02, as you know, is always to modify. In SAP and 03 to display. What do you have to do? Basically, it's very simple and at the same time very, very important. It's what is the material? Enter the material. The specification of that material, that is for which plant and for which location you are going to carry out the count. And with that information, you need to use these transactions. And now I'll show you a few more additional ones to complete the entire inventory document. Let's go to SAP now. Now that we're in SAP, let's first go look up the stock with MB52. And we're going to filter. Here we already have it by this plant and this location. Alright, we will now click Execute. Here we can observe the current stock levels, the specific materials, their respective quantities, and the grand total, the overall value, and the precise cost of these materials. As an example, we're going to use one material. Okay, let's search for a material, for example. 61. I'm going to write it down here. Material 61. It has a quantity of 10 units and a cost of 200. Okay? So what are we going to do? We're going to open another window. Let's now proceed to MI01, which is specifically designed for creating the inventory document. And first of all, here you will need to accurately enter the relevant plant and the precise storage location. Alright, we will then press the Enter key and we are going to carefully enter the specific material that we wish to record into the system. Okay, the material we're going to record is number 61. That's all there is to it in this transaction. Be careful, you click Execute and you can already see it below. The inventory document was created. Alright, let's write it down. First step, creating the material, the inventory document for that material. If you want to view it, MI03. This is the inventory document, and here you can see the material we're going to count. And MI02 is for modifying. Now we're going to do the counting. What does that mean? We said we had 10 units, but when we went to the warehouse, we realized there are not 10 units. In reality, physically, we have 8. Okay? So what do we have to do? Transaction MI 04. As it clearly says here, the count, which is what we actually have. I think on this platform, it's not enabled for today. No, it's enabled for a date in August. Let's say, for example, that the count was done in August. And we simply press the Enter key. How many did we say we actually have? 8 units? Alright, for this material, we counted, and instead of the 10 units shown in the stock, we actually have 8. We save it, and the count is entered. Good, first step. M01, we entered the material we're going to count, the plant, and the location. M04, we entered the count, the actual quantity we have, and saved it. And the last step, MI07. Is to adjust the differences, which the system does automatically. Here it is, as I mentioned before. It's enabled for August of 2024. Alright, this is just because of the platform I have, which is only enabled for this period. Okay? We press Enter. So, with the M07, what does the system do automatically? It calculates the difference. What does that mean? We had 10, a quantity of 10 units of this material, but in reality we have 8. So the difference is 10 minus 2, which is 8. Because we said that the actual count for this material is 8 units. So, we save, and the inventory adjustment is generated. How do we see it? We go back to MB52. This is the plant. Remember the location. We execute and we set material 61. So there you can see that we adjusted by 2 units and we actually have 8. You see, we initially had 10 items, but in reality, we actually have only 8. So we have carefully adjusted the difference, and now the actual inventory status is fully updated. All right, it's that simple. We did this with one material. With 10,000 materials, the process is exactly the same. You have to go to MI01. MI01. You meticulously enter all the necessary materials here into the system, then you proceed to M04 to perform the actual physical count, carefully save the data, then move to M07 to adjust any differences that may exist, and in doing so, your inventory will be completely updated. It's a remarkably simple process, yet incredibly important for accurate record keeping, but at the same time it's very easy to fully understand and to actually have your inventory consistently up to date and accurate.